All right, this is going to sound like a random question, but why not? Just for the conversation of it. If you could learn any language that you don't already know, what would you learn?
Dwarven.
Dwarven.
Yeah.
All right. Any
Yeah.
reason?
Uh yeah, to play my D&D character more thoroughly, she knows Dwarven and Sylvan cuz that's like the Fae language. And
My
she's a Fae creature, but like her background is a caravan specialist, which basically means just nomadic, and you get another language with that, and I randomly picked Dwarven cuz she has an obsession with dwarves cuz she fell in love with a dwarf and he taught her Dwarven. But also Lord of the Rings. It's cuz right before I created this D&D character, we had just gone through Lord of the Rings
yeah,
again.
I love
The
Lord of the Rings.
extended
So
versions.
good.
Yeah, always good. I think we did two in one night, didn't we? Well, one night
No,
into
no.
morning. Yeah, cuz we were up till like 4 a.m.
Oh yeah, no. We started it at like 11 p.m. That's
Oh, that's
why.
what it was. And it was extended
Yeah.
version. It was like 5 hours.
So my buddy Lucas was telling me, um, the University of Arkansas
Mm.
has, I don't know if it's a club or a class or what it is, but you can take that as like a foreign language. Like you have a class where you can learn one of those. I think it's either Lord of the Rings or Skyrim, but it's one of those like
That's cool.
fantasy languages that you can take a class and actually learn. Yeah, it's at the University of Arkansas.
Yeah, no, but if I had to pick a language to learn, it would be a fictional one.
Really?
Yeah, like Elvish or yeah, there's all kinds of different. You can find translators online for them too.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. It excites me. But if I have to be serious and not do you like
Yeah,
how
I
I
wasn't,
didn't even miss a beat?
dude. I
I was
was
just
not
like
expecting. I didn't even.
dwarven.
Yeah, I didn't even consider like fictional languages or anything. Like I was like, I had a serious answer ready in my head, so I was like, oh,
Oh, what
okay.
is your serious answer?
Right now it changes, but right now it's Russian. Because honestly, I'd rather it's not even about speaking it or anything. I want to learn how to read Russian so I can read Russian literature. Because
Mm,
they have a really extensive like arts background, like with
yeah.
literature and art and poetry, and a
Yeah,
lot of it doesn't translate over into English well.
yeah, I see
But
all of that like on the TV shows that have like the what do you call like a prodigy prodigy child, like the one that's just really smart and they really when you have a character like that, they usually reference Russian literature
yeah,
and they're like, well, but did you read the original Russian literature
yeah,
and stuff? So I knew the for me, honestly, I want to be fluent in Spanish. Like, I think I know enough to get by, but I think I like it. It's a
yeah,
pretty language and it's relevant.
it's useful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, maybe some German just to yell at you because German kind of sounds like you're yelling all the
yeah.
time.
German would be
Just to
interesting.
scare you, like just to say I love you, but like very aggressively. Except I do that anyways.
Yeah, I took Chinese in high school, and that was an incredibly difficult language. Not only like speaking it, because it doesn't, it obviously doesn't flow the same way like the
Hmm.
Latin languages do. So like trying to speak it is pretty difficult, and the writing is really because they don't have an alphabet. They just have a picture for every word, and you have to memorize them. So we were learning how to read it as well. So we didn't make as much progression as like say the French or Spanish students because they they were just learning how to speak it and then they knew how to read their alphabet. So we were learning how to speak and read and write it as well, which is actually pretty cool. Because being able to like recognize and
Yeah,
being able to read Chinese was people were always
that's
like, "Oh,
cool.
dude, what?" Yeah, but I don't know. That's something I almost kind of regret because I did do 4 years of it. Looking back now, I'm like, man, if I just like, I mean, at the time I was in no position to go to college, but going to college and learning Chinese would have, in hindsight, that would have been incredibly useful now.
Oh yeah,
You know?
it opens up a lot of doors.
Oh my God! And
I had
any
I
big
had a friend in
corporation would be
I
like,
had a
yeah,
friend in high school who did that because they were doing an international business degree,
yeah,
and that their secondary was in Chinese
mm,
because it's a very prevalent language.
yep. And I mean, they all. I mean, I don't.
Languages are interesting. I wish. I had been more disciplined about learning one at a younger age.
Yeah.
The older you get, I hear the harder it is to learn a language.
Yep. I took in middle school. In middle school, the first year that we actually do the foreign languages, you do half year French, half year Spanish. And then after that first year, you then pick which one you want to do. So I actually took French in middle school. So I don't know that much Spanish. I really don't. Like I've picked some up from like pop culture and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Do you
yeah,
feel bonita?
I don't know what bonita means.
Because you look bonita.
I don't know what bonita means.
Even in that context, do you feel bonita?
Is that pretty?
Beautiful. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see, like a little stuff
Yeah.
like that I can figure out, but even now, like I don't remember any of the French. I know how to say I speak a little French, which is un parle français un petit peu, which probably just butchered the accent there, but
Mm.
and then my name is Al. Je m'appelle Al. That's all I remember from a year and a half of French.
Wants to learn French.
I know, right? I don't know. That one's not definitely not as useful as Spanish.
Or Chinese.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I were to learn Spanish though, I'd want to like know the differences, because there are differences with Spain and Mexico.
Yeah.
You know, it's more of a
I think it's kind of like the same difference between like
English and English.
yeah, like American English and then like Britain English.
Yeah. Different words and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah. Did you have any other questions?
If you could pick up a new hobby that you don't already have, what would it be?
Become your dummy.
Tommy mommy.
No, I couldn't. I like to pretend I could, but I couldn't. I think I'm so funny.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought of that one. I have so many like little tiny hobbies that I just like metal detecting is my newest one.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get a magnet. I want to do magnet fishing. That'd be kind of cool. I know you're old. I know I'm a dork. I know I'm a dork.
Well, I'm a dork too, but just we're different dorks.
Yeah.
Didn't you talk about forging too? Or
Yes.
yeah.
Yep. Smelting, forging.
Smelting. Yeah.
And obviously
this is
gardening,
funny.
raising chickens and ducks. Those are hobbies.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I mostly, do the writing thing and gaming, but I don't
Making
know.
mead, growing weed, all hobbies.
Did you say that because it rhymes?
Yeah, I did.
Is drinking a hobby?
I guess. Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I haven't really thought of any new hobbies. Work keeps me pretty busy. So, plus my other hobbies too. I mean, the writing. I want to read more. I used to be an avid reader, and I just don't. I'm not good at it anymore. Not good at it. Not disciplined enough, I guess, to sit still and read. But yeah.
I'm in a better position now to talk down the price of a car, but at the time when I bought the Altima, I was not in that position at all, and I just paid asking price for it. I was just like, yep, I'll take that asking price, and they're like, oh, okay. And then I just did all the financing, and I mean, it wasn't that much. It was used.
You made that salesman's day, probably.
Well, the whole experience, I don't know. Car dealerships are just shady, because like the first dealership I went to, the pub. Cut the shit. Get down. Anyway, the first car dealership that I went to was like, they were just so sketchy. Like, obviously, they're on commission, they're salesmen. And the guy kind of noticed that I was young and didn't know what I was doing, and it was like the first time I was buying a car. And he was very obviously trying to like lock me in on something that wasn't, and that's pretty common with military people as well. Like, they know they're young and dumb, and they lock them in on like outrageous interest rates and like just give them shitty deals. And the first dealership I went to, I was trying to like look at this truck because that's what I wanted. And the guy was clearly, like, he wouldn't show me the truck until I agreed on a price. Like, he wouldn't even show it to me.
And I was I had my buddy with me. I'm like, dude, this is weird. Like, this is very strange. And he's like, yeah, no, I agree, it is. So I immediately just cut him off, and I was like, no, man, I'm not agreeing to anything until I see it, until I physically see it. And then he was trying to tell me that, like, they couldn't get it to the lot without me agreeing, and I was like, no way, dude. And then I just said, we're done. We went down the road to, like, this little dinky, like, used car dealership place. And, like, I looked around. Nobody fucking bothered me either. They weren't, like, heckling me to buy a car. Like, you know, when you go into, like, a car dealership and they're, like, up your ass about, like, trying to buy a car. I had to, like, once I was interested, I actually had to, like, go in and find someone. And I told the guy, I was like, that's actually really good. Because I hate having people up my ass when I'm trying to buy a car. Like, if I'm interested in buying one, I would rather have to go in, come find him, and ask for help than have the dude out there up my ass trying to sell me a car for,
and that's where you found the Altima?
Yeah, and that's where I found the Altima. I know it's boring and that was long-winded, but I don't know. I'm just trying to make conversation.